So then, the next stop on my IndyCar season review is the BitNow.com Grand Prix of Portland. Will Power ended up picking up a win in his final season for Penske. And, I mean, he deserves it because he's just had such rotten luck over the course of the season. That said, the likes of Lundgaard's been in great form at some point throughout this season. And he's somebody who just, if he can get a season together, he should get a win. He deserves a win at some point. I mean, he got pole position here, got the penalty for the engine changes. Pato O'Ward ended up lining up on pole at the end of, well, when all was said and done with that. Palou held on to third place, which is enough to clinch the championship with a couple of rounds to spare. Proof that he's just had an absolutely domineering season. But what was nice is getting towards the end of the season, having all of these different winners come up towards the end. People who deserve a win every once in a while, people who deserve a break. And yeah, it just turned out on the day that one of them ended up being Will Power. I think, where did he end up finishing the standings this season? He ended up finishing 9th. And when you look at it, he got a podium in the first Iowa race, the podium on the Indy GP layout. Outside of that, he got another 3 top 5s. Detroit, and then, which was 4th, and then Barber and Long Beach, which were 5th. It just doesn't sound like the kind of performance you would be expecting from Will Power. But, again, like I said, it was a deserving win for him, a deserving second place for Lundgaard. Rahal ended up leading a handful of laps as well, and ended up in 4th place ahead of Alexander Rossi. Rossi, again, somebody who, after his Indy win, everyone was like, oh, he could be somebody of the future, a bit like someone like Rinus VeeKay in recent years. But outside of all of that, there are a couple of drivers who had some rotten luck, and then some who made their own mistakes. I'd say Connor Daly was somebody who had his own rotten luck. That tail end of the track is just so tricky to negotiate. You see it so much in the sim. And regardless of which class as well, like when I've been racing on Portland in sim racing titles, R Factor and iRacing, you see it in Formula Cars, you see it in Tin Tops, you see it in proper GT races as well. That final complex through turns 10 and 11 can be so deceptive. If you get it wrong, or if you end up having contact with somebody through there, you're in the wall. As for Santino Ferrucci, he just ran wide, just stuck it into the wall. And this is the thing, is I know I naturally am going to be more critical of Santino Ferrucci. The reason being is I remember his exploits over here with F2. But when you look at his season, like, he had a couple of good runs. Detroit, where he nearly won. But the question is, how much of it is him being restricted by his equipment, and how much of it is an actual talent ceiling? Like, I know people who will make the comparison between someone like Ferrucci and someone like Lance Stroll, in that it is family money that puts him in there. But, like, Lance Stroll hasn't tried to go out and run a Pierre Polyev livery or something like that. And, to be honest, Lance Stroll is a champion. Like, granted, it is in the junior single-seater ladder, but even if you're in the best car, you don't just get that from nothing whatsoever. Whereas for Ferrucci, he had a couple of karting championships. Yeah, those were more things like the Florida Winter Tour, for example. But outside of that, he got a 3rd place in the Toyota Racing Series. And then, yeah, what's his next best? If I look at his records, F2000, he got 5th place in 2013. 7th place in IndyCar last year. Where did he finish standings this year? 16th. It's not the equipment. It's not the equipment. There is an element to which he can drive these cars, and sometimes he can have a day of days. But when you have a look around and you have a look at how others get on, like Malukas in the other Foyt car, ended up... Where did Malukas end up in this race? He ended up 19th, yeah, a lap down. But he qualified way up the order in comparison. He qualified 5th, whilst in comparison for Ferrucci, it's 15th. But yeah, I like Portland as a race. There are some bits that can be a bit more chaotic, but it's one of those things, it's a bit of a halfway between somewhere like Indy GP, which I would say is very much a racing track, and then somewhere like Laguna, which is very much a driving track and a hot lap track. Like, you've got the overtaking zones that are turn 1, and then the run down to the end of the lap, the run down to 10 and 11. But you can see battling, you can see overtakes. We did see an overtake through turn 6, didn't we, in the race? And that's really cool to have, because you don't always get that. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching and joining, folks, and until next time, it's bye-bye for now.